looked at the heavies, they were moving in fast. I knew I better make it, cause they just don't last. I'm surfing, yeah, swinging and a surfing. Yeah, the sand and the sea is the only life for me. I'm surfing, yeah, just surfing. Hot dogging on my board, gonna have me a ball. Rode a breaker in, and that was all. I'm surfing.
Dick Dale wasn't nicknamed King of the Surf Guitar for nothing. He invented the style single-handedly, and no matter who copied or expanded upon his blueprint, he remained the fiercest, most technically gifted musician the genre ever produced. Dale's pioneering use of Middle Eastern and Eastern European melodies, learned organically through his familial heritage, was among the first in any genre of American popular music, and predated the teaching of such exotic scales in guitar shredder academies by 2 decades. The breakneck speed of his single-note staccato picking technique was unrivaled until it entered the repertoires of metal virtuosos like Eddie Van Halen, and his wild showmanship made an enormous impression on the young Jimi Hendrix. But those aren't the only reasons Dale was all once called the father of heavy metal. Working closely with the Fender Company, Dale continually pushed the limits of electric amplification technology, helping to develop new equipment that was capable of producing the thick, clearly defined tones he heard in his head, at the previously undreamed of volumes he demanded. He also pioneered the use of portable reverb effects, creating a signature sonic texture for surf instrumentals. And, if all that weren't enough, Dale managed to redefine his instrument while essentially playing it upside down and backwards. He switched sides in order to play left-handed, but without restringing it, as Hendrix later did. Dick Dale was born Richard Mansour in Boston in 1937. His father was Lebanese, his mother was Polish, and as a child he was exposed to folk music from both cultures, which had an impact on his sense of melody and the way string instruments could be picked. He also heard lots of big band swing and found his first musical hero in drummer Gene Krupa, who later wound up influencing a percussive approach to guitar so intense that Dale regularly broke the heaviest gauge strings available and ground his picks down to nothing several times in the same song. He taught himself to play country songs on the ukulele and soon graduated to guitar, where he was also self-taught. His father encouraged him and offered career guidance, and in 1954, the family moved to Southern California. At the suggestion of a country DJ, Mansour adopted the stage name Dick Dale, and he began performing in local talent shows, where his budding interest in rockabilly made him a popular act. He recorded a demo song, Ooh Wee Marie, for the local Del 5 label, which was later released as a single on his father's new Deltone imprint and distributed locally. During the late 50s, Dale also became an avid surfer and soon set about finding ways to mimic the surging sounds and feelings of the sport in the ocean on his guitar. He quickly developed a highly distinctive instrumental sound and found an enthusiastic, ready-made audience in his surfer friends. Dale began playing regular gigs at the Rendezvous Ballroom, a once-defunct concert venue near Newport Beach, with his backing band the Deltones, and as word spread, gigs at local other halls followed. Dale became a widely popular attraction, drawing thousands of fans to every performance. In September of 1961, Deltone released Dale's single, Let's Go Trippin', which is generally acknowledged to be the very first recorded surf instrumental. Let's Go Trippin' was a huge local hit and even charted nationally. Dale released a few more local singles including Jungle Fever, Miserlou, and Surf Beat, and in 1962 issued his and surf music's first album, the groundbreaking Surfer's Choice on Deltone. Surfer's Choice sold like hotcakes around Southern California, which earned Dale a contract with Capitol Records and national distribution for the album. Dale was featured in Life magazine in 1963, which led to appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show and the Frankie Annette film Beach Party. He also released the follow-up LP King of Surf Guitar and went on to issue 3 more albums on Capitol through 1965. During that time, he developed a close working relationship with Leo Fender, who kept engineering bigger and better sound systems in response to Dale's appetite for louder, more maniacally energetic live performances. Surf music became a national fad, with groups like the Beach Boys and Jan and Dean offering a vocal variant to complement the wave of instrumental groups, all of which were indebted in some way to Dale. But in 1964, the British invasion stole much of surf's thunder, and Dale was dropped by Capitol in 1965. He remained a wildly popular local act, but in 1966, he was diagnosed with rectal cancer, which forced him to temporarily retire from music. He beat the disease, however, and soon began pursuing other interests, owning and caring for a variety of endangered animals, studying martial arts, designing his parents' dream house, and learning to pilot planes. In 1979, a puncture wound suffered while surfing off a Newport beach led to a pollution-related infection that nearly cost him his leg. Dale soon added environmental activist to his resume. In addition to all of that, he performed occasionally around Southern California throughout the 70s and 80s. In 1986, he attempted to mount a comeback. He recorded a benefit single for the UC Urban Medical Center's burn unit, which had helped him recuperate from potentially serious injuries, and the following year appeared in the beach movie send-up Back to the Beach. The soundtrack featured a duet between Dale and Stevie Ray Vaughan on Shantae's surf staple, Pipeline, which was nominated for a Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental. In 1991, Dale did a guest spot on an album by the San Francisco-based Psychofunkopus, and a successful Bay Area gig got him signed with High Tone Records. The album, Tribal Thunder, was released in 1993, but Dale's comeback didn't get into full swing until Miserlou was chosen as the opening theme to Quentin Tarantino's blockbuster 1994 film Pulp Fiction. Miserlou became synonymous with Pulp Fiction's ultra-hip sense of style and was soon licensed in countless commercials, as were several other Dale tracks. And as a result, Tribal Thunder and its 94 follow-up Unknown Territory attracted lots of attention, earning positive reviews and surprisingly strong sales. In 1996, he supported the Beggars Banquet album Calling Up Spirits by joining the normally punk and ska-oriented Warped Tour. Adding his wife and young drum-playing son to his band, Dick Dale refocused on touring over the next few years. He finally returned with a new CD in 2001, Spatial Disorientation, issued on the small Syndrome label. Dale stepped away from his recording career after that release, but he continued to play out frequently, even as he struggled with myriad health problems, including diabetes, rectal cancer, and heart and kidney disease. Dale still had a busy schedule of concert dates on his schedule when he passed away, March 16, 2019, at the age of 81. Dale's battle-worn gold Stratocaster, nicknamed the Beast, was outfitted to be played loud, as it boasted massive 16, 18, and 20-gauge unwound strings, and 39 to 49 and 60-gauge wound strings that produced tremendous tension. When on stage, Dale didn't necessarily break strings, he practically burned through them, thanks in part to the heavy picks he used. The Beast did not have any tone controls, only a master volume and a toggle that bypassed the three-way switch to activate the neck and middle pickup only. In his search for more volume, Dale and Leo Fender found out that The 10-watt amps just wouldn't cut it after Dale blew several of them up. To remedy this problem, Fender created the first 85-watt transformer, which peaked at 100 watts. As Dale once said, quote, "It was like going from little VW Bug to a Testarossa," end quote. The amp would later be called the Showman, and paired with a cabinet housing, a 15-inch speaker, and the Beast, Dale could truly crank things up to 10. Dale and Fender would continue to work on upping the ante, building a speaker cabinet that could house two 15-inch speakers to sustain his vicious riffage. Of course, that needed an even bigger transformer, so they teamed up with the Triad Company to design a 100-watt version that peaked at 180 watts. Thus, the Dual Showman was born, a revered game changer. In addition to his amp innovations, Dale was one of the first to use reverb. At first, he implemented it into his arsenal to enhance his voice when performing live to add bravado, but he eventually plugged his Strat into the reverb tank and found that it offered a wetter sound with more sustain. From that point forward, reverb came synonymous with surf music.